yeah, we'll go from there. So welcome everybody to this meeting of the Boston Region MPO Unified Planning Work Program Committee. Go ahead and call this meeting to order. I'll first read the notice of non-discrimination, which reads that you are invited to participate in our transportation planning process, regardless of your color, race, national origin, including English, limited English proficiency, religion, creed, gender, ancestry, ethnicity, disability, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, veteran status or background. The meeting guidelines are that all participants will join this meeting with muted microphones. Please rename yourself to include your first name, last name, and affiliation. Participants may mute and unmute themselves, but always remain muted unless actively speaking. To participate in the discussion, please select the raise hand function by clicking either on the participants button at the bottom of the screen, and a window will pop up with a raise hand button at the bottom, or the reactions button in the toolbar, and then the chair will call on participants. If you're on the phone, you can use *9 to raise your hand. And if you have any technical difficulties, please contact Erin McGuire via the chat box, by email at emaguire@ctps.org, or by phone at 857-702-3681. The accessibility statement reads that this meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Zoom products are compliant with exceptions with the following standards: Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.1, Level AA standards, and revised Section 508 standards. If you require any additional accommodations in order to participate fully in this meeting, please contact Erin McGuire of MPO staff, again at email at emaguire@ctps.org, or by phone at 857-702-3681. We'll now move on to introductions. So my name is Derek Cravat from MassDOT's Office of Transportation Planning here as committee chair. I'll just read down our list here. I know Eric from MAPC said he'll be out today, but do we have Town of Arlington? Arlington. Okay, we may have lost. I did see a Zoom name
that was me.
Oh, that was you, Len. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Running a meeting, one of our accounts, and it doesn't rename, so awesome. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, I'll call on you first then, Len. So Len Diggins is here.
Our tech chair, Vice Council chair.
Great. Thanks, Len.
Sure.
Do we have City of Boston?
Hi, Jen Rowe, stepping in for Matt Moran on behalf of Mayor Wu.
Great, thank you. City of Framingham, not seeing Metro West region. Do we have Town of Medway, swap region? City of Newton for at-large city.
Good afternoon, David Kosis representing Mayor Fuller in the City of Newton.
Great, hi David. The Town of Norwood for the TRIC/NVRC subregion.
Hi, Tom O'Rourke from the Town of Norwood representing the TRIC subregion.
Great, welcome. City of Somerville for Inner Core.
Good afternoon, Tom Bent, City of Somerville, Inner Core, and representing Mayor Ballantyne.
Great, excellent. And then MBTA Advisory Board.
Good afternoon, Amira Patterson, Transportation Planner, representing the MBTA Advisory Board.
All right, excellent. Welcome, everybody. So we do have a quorum, so we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is public comments. Is there anyone present that would like to make a comment at this time? All right, seeing none. If you do have a comment at any point, please feel free to put that into the chat box or use the raise hand function, and we'll be sure to call on you. We'll move to the next item, which is action item for the summary of the June 8th, 2023 UPWP committee meeting. So I'll ask for a motion and second to approve this meeting summary.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Great.
I'll second that.
All right, motion having been made and seconded. Any comments or questions on the June 8th minutes or summary? All right, seeing none, Mass.dot OTP, yes. City of Boston, Jen Rowe,
Yes.
David Kozis,
David Kosis, yes.
Tom O'Rourke,
Yes.
Tom Bent,
Yes.
Leonard Diggins,
Leonard Dickens, yes.
and Amira Patterson.
Mayor Patterson, yes.
Okay, so that passes. We'll move on to the next item, which is another meeting summary, this one of June 13th, 2023. Again, ask for a motion and second to approve the June 13th summary. Amira,
I'll make a motion to approve.
thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second Tom O'Rourke.
All right, motion having been made and seconded. Any comments, questions on June 13th summary? All right, seeing none, I'll call the roll. Mass.OTP, Derek Cravat, yes. Jen Rowe,
Jen Rowe, yes.
David Kozis,
David Kosis, yes.
Tom O'Rourke,
Tom O'Rourke, yes.
Tom Bent,
Tom Bent, yes.
Leonard Diggins,
Leonard Dickens, yes.
and Amir Patterson.
Mayor Patterson, yes.
Great. All right, thank you, everyone. Move on to our kind of more substantive item, which is the federal fiscal year 2024 Unified Planning Work Program. I'll turn it over to Srilekha to give a quick update on where we're at with the document and talk about some of the comments that have been received so far since it's been released for public comment. So go ahead, Srilekha.
Hey, Derek, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining this meeting of the UPWP committee. I've got a short presentation where I will discuss the comments we received during the public comment period, as well as some edits to the document made by staff, and conclude by requesting your endorsement of the FFY 2024 UPWP. Next slide, please, Erin. We received 6 comments in total, 3 from members of the public, a comment letter from the Regional Transportation Advisory Council, and 2 from our partner agencies, MassDOT and the MBTA. Next slide, please. Comments from members of the public were generally supportive of the work outlined in the UPWP and offered some suggestions. One writer urged us to expand electric vehicle charging infrastructure, especially in cities, while another supported the development of a bicycle pedestrian planning committee. The latter additionally urged the MPO to work towards climate adaptation as well as mitigation. A third commenter asked a general question on the MBTA's work on the Green Line extension. Staff addressed each of these comments in an email, and we are very grateful for all those who comment, even if they are criticisms. The 2 letters we received from the Advisory Council and the MBTA were supportive of the work laid out in the UPWP, and both noted an interest in engaging more with the MPO's ongoing work. Staff are working on a proposal for this committee to do just that, and we're excited to see how we can expand the ways in which the UPWP committee can engage with programs. So again, thank you all for those to those who commented and shared your thoughts. Next slide, please, Erin. During the public comment period, staff often make minor text changes to the document itself. These are often copy edits, changes in syntax, or adding more descriptive language and information to a given item. During this comment period, we additionally added a description of the Safe Streets and Roads for All grant award within Appendix A. Next slide, please. So looking ahead, I will be presenting this document to the MPO board next week on July 20th to request their final endorsement. Thereafter, we'll send the full document with certification letter to MassDOT for FHWA and FTA review. So at this point, I would like to request that this committee vote to endorse the federal fiscal year 2024 UPWP. And I'm happy to take any questions. And once again, just like to thank everyone for their input and guidance throughout this development process.
Great. Thank you, Srilekha. Yeah, Leonard.
Sure, thank you. So I have a couple questions and a comment. So I didn't submit this question during the comment period because I wasn't sure if it was a typo and it was just going to take a lot of words to try to explain this. But Srilekha, can you go to page table 3.1? Do you have it in front of you?
Just 1 second.
Sure. It's at the very top. It's core MPO functions.
table 3.1.
Yeah, so at the very top of it, there's the core MPO functions line. It's a green bar.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that should have dollar figures in it, you know, because all the other green bars have dollar figures that sum up to the items above it. But then for the last set of items underneath that last green bar, there is no green bar that sums it up. So I think if you were to put the sums, for like the set of items, underneath core functions in that top green bar, then it would leave that bottom green bar blank, and then that would be the place where you put like the 744K that are that is the sum of the items above it. Did that make sense?
No, that makes sense. And thanks for pointing that out. That might have just been an issue with formatting.
Yeah.
When we had split the
Yeah, I
tables.
think I thought so, and I thought to myself, oh, I don't feel like writing this up. And I couldn't get myself to call you, and I was like, oh, they'll see that, and so I just went to check. I saw that green bar still there, so either you tell me you're wrong, or what you just told me. So great, excellent. The other thing was I noticed for the advisory council funding that it was 18K last year, but then nothing for this year. So are we just like part of the system, now?
Yeah, so from this year, I believe the advisory council won't have its own separate budget.
Yeah.
It'll instead be included within the public engagement program.
Okay, cool,
So
cool.
there will still be work
Yeah.
undertaken for the advisory council.
Yeah.
It'll just be under the engagement.
Yeah, no, I understand, and that kind of explains me something. The overall funding. I get it. I figured as much. And I'll say, and I'll try and say this in the full board meeting, but I may not if the depending on how things are going. But our letter really focused on these street programs and other elements. But we did not mention the attention that you all have paid to the advisory council and the anticipated outcomes, and they're really good. And it really makes me very excited about working with the MPO and the staff. There's some exciting things in there, and so it's really good. So didn't mention it in the letter, wish I had, but I'll mention it now, and I'll try and mention it at the board meeting. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Leonard. Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, not seeing any other questions or comments. So I guess at this time I'll ask for a motion and second to have this committee approve the federal fiscal year 2024 UPWP and recommend that the MPO also approve the UPWP.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Tom. Is there a
I'll
second? Leonard?
I'll
Yep.
second it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Great. So motion having been made and seconded, I'll go ahead and call the roll. OTP, I'll vote yes. Jen Rowe,
Jen Rowe, yes.
David Kozis,
David Kozis, yes.
Tom O'Rourke,
Tom O'Rourke, yes.
Tom Bent,
Tom Benton, yes.
Leonard Diggins,
Leonard Diggins, yes.
and Amira Patterson.
Mayor Patterson, yes.
All right, great. So that passes. So thank you everyone for all the great work that went into this, and to staff as well for a great document. It was a really, I think, excellent program, and particularly enjoyed the photos in there this year. I think it was the format of the document was really good, and I, definitely like very accessible and easy to read and enjoyable to make your way through. So
I like the photos too, especially the one like under the bridge with the water. What I'm talking about,
Yeah.
the two spans of the bridge. That was a really cool photograph.
Yep. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's great. So
Yeah.
kudos to staff on that. And obviously to the content of the UPWP as well, which is excellent. So great. So with that, we can then move on to members' items. I know, Srileka, we had a note on a potential item for the next meeting, but maybe before we go over that, did anyone have any other items? All right, not seeing any. So Srileka, did you want to talk a little bit about the next, the meeting and amendment number 2?
Yes, so we are planning to schedule a meeting of the committee on July 27th to present Amendment 2 to the FFY 23 UPWP and request a release for a 21-day public comment period. Just as a preview, this is the sort of third, fourth quarter adjustment that we have historically made to the UPWP to reflect ongoing program budget changes and that kind of work. It's not necessarily adding a new program, it's just ensuring that we are able to complete the work that we're scheduled to do through the end of the fiscal year. So I will be getting the amendment and supporting information ready to post in the next couple of days. But just as a heads up, that'll be on the 27th.
Great. Thanks, Srileka. And is that for 1 p.m.?
Yes.
What do you say? Okay, great. Okay. Sounds good. So mark our calendars for that. All right. Anything else? All right. I don't see anything. So I think with that, I'll ask for a motion and second to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, great. I think without objection, we are adjourned. So thank you again, everybody. And we'll see you next week at the MPO meeting. Have a great day.
Have a
Okay.
good one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.